Hey, top of the morning to you. I'm Michael. The grandkids call me Roo. And the reason for that is because I paint roosters. Not really. The reason is because my name means Roo, and then I started painting roosters, and that's the true story. Good morning. It's Tuesday morning. Coming to you live from my illustrious Potentate studio in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's just a small little room that I do everything in. The black screen behind me has editing equipment for my video production company. Over there's an old desk that's just brilliant. I wish you could see it. I'm not going to show it to you though because it's just such a mess right now. And there's a poplar cabinet here, and it's an odds and ends. It's an old man's room. There's a couple banjos on the wall. There's a rifle and a picture of me and Chaps playing a guitar back when I thought I was a cowboy. It's just a crazy place in here. And it's a creative place for me. It is my space. This was one of my son's bedrooms when he lived here back in the days of yore. 2002, 2000, before he moved to go into television work. And in fact, we shot a TV pilot in this house when we were fixing it up. This was an older house that was in this neighborhood for a long time. He got a call from a TV production company that said, "Hey, we think you might be right for a character in this show we're doing." And it's a home improvement show. And we're going like, well, we're right in the middle of that. So I grabbed a camera. I shot this little piece of him. We FedExed it out on a Saturday morning. Tuesday morning, he gets a call from this office in New York and says, "Drive to Knoxville, Tennessee. We're holding a spot for you in this TV show." And the rest is history. And so I used to say, "Are you really a carpenter or you just play one on TV?" And so my kids are all creative. We're creative. And I hope you are creative or think like an artist anyway as you join me today. Thanks for being here. Hold on. My email is just popping off like crazy here and going wacko. So let me just kill that file before it pops up again. 1 second here. I got busy doing something. I just had this creative thought when I came in this morning. I think you can still see me, but I'm trying to kill my mail project. There it is, program. All right, I think we're back now. I don't think you went away. I think I did. Anyway, let me say hello to some of you, and then let me get busy because I woke up early at 4 something, and I went, I know what I'm supposed to paint today. You know, I never make a list. I never worry about what it is. My desk is still a mess from yesterday. Here it is right here because I had all this editing to do. That's the Showtime piece. This is a piece of rice paper I painted on yesterday. Did that rose up in the head. And you know what I love about this paper? Look, don't do this to your own paintings at home, but there's the piece that was underneath. See the rooster in there? Look at that. There he is right there. I see him. We might just have to doodle him in. Look at this. This is the reverse side. This is this side. And what I was going to show you yesterday, let me see if I can show you now. Just hold on. Come on. You know what? This is a creative show. Let's just be spontaneous and creative here. You know, Carol and I have this rule. You know what it is? It's we have sort of our philosophy, our mission statement, our ministry statement in life is interruption. Ready for this? Interruption, hospitality, spontaneity. And so, or any order you want to put them in, but really it starts with an interruption. Somebody calls and says, "Hey, you got 5 minutes?" We go, "We got an hour, man. What do you need?" And we don't have an hour, but we do have an hour. It doesn't mean, I don't have to go to bed at 6 o'clock. I can go to bed at midnight if I want to. I don't have to get up at 6. I can get up at 3. It doesn't matter to me. I'll rest later in life, in eternity. So here's the thing. So we have this deal where you can't interrupt me. You know, the only people who can interrupt me are the people who call to sell me something about solar. They interrupt me. And I think I've told you how I answer my phone when numbers call me and I don't know who they are, or it says potential spam, right? You know what I do? I go into my radio voice and I go, thank you for calling WROO. You're the third caller. The question is, how do you celebrate life? They're gone before I can even get the rest of that out. And so that's always fun to do. Or if they say hello, I'll say, hold on, I'm putting you on the air right now. And they'll go, wait, I don't want to be on the air. I'm selling something. I'm going like tough darts. And then they're gone. So it's been good. And my number has dropped off a lot of the calls. So if you answer those things, they've got you pinged. But if you answer them as someone else, is it a lie? Well, they're calling me with one. It's not. I don't think it is. I think it's just part of my storytelling. But if it really is, I'll quit doing it. But it's helped my phone ring less. How did I get into that? Oh, yeah. Interruptions, spontaneity, hospitality. Uh, those other two vie for which comes second or third. But if you interrupt me, and then I'll become hospitable. I just say, yeah, come on. If someone knocks on my door, I need to know what you're about. Yesterday, I got two of my hair cut, only two of them. Just two. See, I didn't cut much of it, but she said, I like your hair long. And I said, yeah, me too. But I just want you to clean up some of this stuff, and literally cut off this much off the back. And but there it is. I've got a video shoot today, so I had to clean up my act just a little bit. But my point is that I wanted to find out about her life too. And we talked and we talked about people and how to be spontaneous. She said, I just think that I'm single. I'm a young lady. I should go to California. I'm going to get on the bus. You're going to hate the cost of living, but go out there and celebrate life for a while. But don't forget your family. Don't forget your connections. Don't forget your values. I'm an old man. I can get on that soapbox. So this whole thing about I can interrupt the show, you can interrupt me. Let me turn this light on. I want to show you something cool. Boom. That's a bright little light, isn't it? All right, look at this. Put that light behind this art. That's too bright. So let me tune this light down here. I think there's a way to turn this light down. This is the coolest little light on. Let's see here. Go back up one time and go. Toot, 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 toot. Maybe I can't. Maybe I can. Thought I could. There we go. Oh, there we go. I'm tooling it down. Here's just 10%. Look at this. Look at this. You can take this rice paper and you can put a light behind it. Can you see that? So it's kind of a fun little deal. That just gives you how bright it is. So anyway, I just play around. I'm still on this rice paper kick, and this is not the one that you should use. But I do like this. Take a look what's laying there after this kind of just stuck out there a little bit. Yeah, we can just go right in here and make the rooster. Well, I messed that up. I was going to paint something else on it, but there it is right there. I do think I have that painting up here somewhere. I was going to show you how that turned out. Here it is. No, that's the one. Here's the other one that I did. I think I did this one yesterday morning first. Yeah, I did. This is the big roo I did on some large 140-pound paper. That's a nice big old rooster head. If you got a barn door and needs one. All right, let me get this piece of paper out of the way. Also, put it over there. Let me put a clean sheet in. There's a big piece of paper. The reason I'm painting on big paper today is because I woke up with another idea that's a big old idea. And that's a little panel light that I use sometimes when I'm cheating video in little tight places and I need a little light to go in there. It's cool. Paper towels. Let me say hello to some of you. Thanks for being on the show. John Robert Small, thanks for jumping on right away this morning. Morning, Trish Brown, Linda Sue Reagan. Good morning to you. Kathy Morrill. Bob from the meticulous cornfields of Iowa. Bob and Julia sent me a note. I said, please send me how to pronounce your name. And they finally sent it to me and I lost it. I'm just kidding. Heidenreich. So you got to say it like that. You got to say it sort of like you're mad at it. Heidenreich. Not really. I just made that part up. Meticulous. I was meticulous when I was a kid. No, that's ticklish. Yeah, never mind. Andy, thanks for being on the show. Susie DeLay, Beverly Schmidt from Greenville, South Carolina. Thanks for jumping on. Jean Ann Thalzer. Linda Sue says, from the Little Cigar Beck's fiddler and soon to be a hammer dulcimer player. Man, playing a hammer dulcimer is woo-wee. That's a tough one right there. That's one that your mama will make you go sit in the ditch out at the mailbox like I did the banjo and learn how to play. After a while, you go say, well, it's not as bad as the violin, though. It's a little more soothing. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful instrument. June Jones, hello. Lori Stanley, Handelmauer Henderson. Sheena Watson, thanks for being on. Pat Brooks says good morning, too. Good morning to you. Deborah Tauber, Virginia Mann. Heather Kuhlman. Yes. It's dark. It's dark 30 here. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. Way out in Washington. Holy smokes. Marion Atwater, I'm sure it is. Pat Lightbody says 2 degrees in sunny Wisconsin. Is that a misprint? Is it 2 degrees? If it's 2 degrees, take everything out of your freezer, take it out in the yard, set it out there, turn your freezer off and save some money today. And then if it warms up a little bit and things start, if animals, like maybe an elk will come in and something you had in the freezer, he wants it, and you can put the elk back in your freezer. You can save money. You can save money this way. You got to be creative when it's 2 degrees. You got to make sure your furnace is working. Tiffany Lyons, good morning to you. Karen Piker, thank you for being on the show. Kathy Moore, I think I said that. Paul Lynn. Not to be confused with Paul Lynn, the actor from years ago. Paul, this is Paula Lynn. Hello from Wisconsin. We're putting up your Christmas tree. That's awesome. I'll get mine this week, and I'll put up my Christmas tree after the 9th. I'll put it up after the 9th because we had a son who has a birthday on the 9th, and we never wanted to confuse that with him and say, today's your day. Now let's talk about Christmas. And that was fun with him. So even though he's been out of my home now for 35 years, it's still fun to wait until the 9th. So I guess we have a tradition there. All right, here we go. Let's see. Jennifer Yens, thanks for being on from, good morning from Indiana, the whole state. Jeanette Seal, Leslie McClelland. I can't believe I'm going to see this in real time. I was just kidding there, Leslie. I am still in real time, even if you're froze up. Burke Crone, thanks for being on. It's Ruse Day. Ricky Bastinis, is it Bastines? Bastinas Govars. I just say Ricky Govars. I leave out the middle name because it's too hard for me to pronounce. When you grow up in East Tennessee, there's some syllables, you know? Sonophagus is one of those words. Sonophagus, sonophagus. You just didn't know where to put the right syllables. It's son of a gun, sonophagus. So there it is. Denise Albright, good morning. I sent you a note. I hope you saw the little blurb on your fishbowl. Brenda Young, Linda Linhart, Sandra Connor. Is it Linda Proust? Thanks for being on the show. Glad to have you here. Annette Henslin from snow-dusted Minnesota. Wow, I tell you, even though it's cold up there, that snow-dusted look in the morning is a beautiful look. I love it. I love it when the high pressure comes in after snow and the sun breaks across the snow. It sounds like you should write a poem about that. Patricia Lane Evans, good morning to you. All right, see, Melena Phillips, Michelle Mace, Sharon Kirk Clifton, Raylene Culberson. Hey, Raylene, good to have you back on the show. Donna Sell Barton. Hey, you guys pile on here in the mornings and you make my day. I appreciate you much. Jean Peterson from Orlando. My daughter and granddaughter are in Orlando today. It's her 10th birthday, not my daughter's, but my granddaughter's. And the children, when they turn 10, get to pick a place that they can go with their parents. One picked Yellowstone, one picked New York, one picked a cruise. This one has picked Disney. And so they're there spending a little time at Disney for the next couple of days. I've done some work in Orlando, hung out down there a little bit. Pretty awesome. Deborah Spangler, thanks for being on the show. Okay, Chris Young, thank you for being here this morning. So you're looking at the desk. It's white pad underneath. I do that just to protect an old oak barley twist leg table. When I mean barley twist leg, I mean it's a pub table from England. Was shipped over here with about 6 other tables that I bought for my office when I was producing youth ministry stuff. There just seems some real dichotomies and irony if the youth ministry team used pub tables for their office tables. Oh man, I love that table. Yeah, it's a pub table. Got it out of a bar and got it out of a pub in Ireland. People go, oh. You know, I still where people come from. I love it. I love to throw those curveballs at people's heads. Okay. Syllables. Syllables. Your mom used to say syllables. Yeah. Sonophagus. Son of a gun. Coldest day of the year. My daughter's heat exchanger died. Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry. Oh, she does have a wood supply, so I appreciate that. All right, here we go. Hey, I want to paint something for you today that I woke up and I thought, why haven't I painted this? And all the Christmas things that I've painted and I just knocked my pens off my desk. I could have started better, but I didn't. Let's see. Let's just put all these right here in a little box or out of the way. Let's see if there's anything I need here. Let me pull out a couple pens I might need. There's a brush I might need. And let me go over here and just lay these down in the floor and get rid of them and then move this thing around. This is a big piece of paper, so I've pushed everything to the side. There we go. That helps. All right, got my palette over here. I'm going to paint out of this today. People ask about this palette all the time. It's a pre-packaged Van Gogh box. Okay, it was brought to me from a trip. My brother-in-law and his wife brought it to me from a trip they did in Italy. They brought me some Fabriano paper and this Van Gogh box, and but that was years and years and years ago. So all those paints I kept down on the art bar, and I just doodled with them and piddled with them. Finally, I started running out of most of those paints, and I filled the boxes with American Journey paint. And someone asked me about that paint and colors, and just here. Let me just do something here just for a second. Just give me 1 second. Would you do that? Thank you very much. Let me try this. Let me grab a couple tins. I wrote this down on my blotter yesterday, and I forgot to bring it over. Someone in their notes yesterday said, would you please tell me about some of the colors that you use? And so I wanted to do that. So June Jones says, yes, thanks for addressing the paint question. I literally wrote it down, June, and then I wadded up that dirty blotter with that rice paper and I threw it away. So John Robert Small says, talent will only get you so far. Hard work will get you to the top of the mountain. Unless you live in the ocean, John Robert Small, and then you better be a good swimmer. Okay. It is true, though. You know, you have to use everything that you know. You have to be quick to think. You have to think like an artist about everything. You have to be willing to swim against the grain. You have to be the flow. You have to be willing to keep marching. That's why there's a book that says you've got to stay behind the mule. I think I wrote that book. Okay, here we go. So just a few colors here. Let me just top this music off for 1 second here. Boing. Okay, Andy, take a break. And then here's my palette lying in a bed of just small bottles. Why do I like these small tubes of paint other than the large tubes of paint? And I'm going to paint something large for you this morning, and I hope I can finish it. So I'm going to try to do this in 5 minutes and then jump on a painting that came to me in the middle of the night. And I woke up and I thought I should get up right now and write this down. And I thought, nah, that'd be the easy way, but it wouldn't be the cowboy way. All right, so a bunch of half-pressed, wrinkled up tubes, but here they are. Every now and then you'll see some tubes like this. This is normally the size that I do not buy. Why? Well, because it takes me a long time to use a tube of black this large, but I was painting with 20 students and then 10 more people, and I put together some small, tiny palettes for them. This was when I did the foster child thing, and I went out. And so by the goodness out of Cheap Joe's heart, they sent me some large tubes to said, we know you're going to be painting with those 20 folks from the Congregations for Kids foster organization. We're sending you some paint to put in their palettes. Boom. So I wound up with these big tubes to fill those with. Even filling those with these hard tubes is difficult. And these tubes will just sort of lay here for a long time, and their shelf life is quite a while. But they do tend to dry out if I don't get the lids on straight and they get a little air in there. So I have been known all my life to just buy smaller tubes. And I'll give you a number if you're taking notes. Instead of buying a 37 milliliter tube like this one, I will buy a 15 milliliter tube like this one. Okay, see that? 37, 15. And there's about 3,000 roosters in this tube. There's a lot of red paint in here. Unless you're painting, look, if you're an acrylic painter, if you're an oil color painter, you might see people who have buckets of big tubes and squeeze out big globs and go get their palette knives and come slide in and just go shoom, shoom, and you're moving a lot of pigment. Remember, I'm working with smaller pieces of paper, water as a medium to stretch my paint and cause it that shades and that transparency that I want. So a little bit of watercolor goes a long, long way. Okay. There is a green in here that I apologize dearly to someone who sent it to me. And it's a Daniel Smith Undersea Green. I like it very much, and I've used some of it. It's even in this palette right there. There it is. And every now and then I'll reach over and I'll grab it. And look, that was last year. No, it was early this year, I think. And there's still that little tube. And thank you for that gift. And I hope I said thank you, but sometimes I forget. Okay, so some of my favorite colors, if you want to know what they are, just to get you on the page, pick what colors you love. Look, I started for the first 5 years with just 3 colors. Here they are, right here. I'm going to show you in big tubes if I can. Gamboge, Red Hot Mama, and Ultramarine Blue. Gamboge, Red Hot Mama, Ultramarine Blue. Red Hot Mama is like a cad red, but it's not cad. It's like Joe's red, but it's a little more red, less orange. Here's a cad red. Here's a Red Hot Mama. Here's a crimson. No, that's not it. I think I had another one. No, it's Red Hot Mama. What's this one? Copper Kettle. That's not it either. This must be it. Nope, I don't even see Joe's red in here right now. I must have used that tube up. Okay, so my point is, I started with these 3 colors forever, for about the first 4 or 5 years, because I was convinced that if I had the 3 primaries, I could make the secondaries, and out of the secondaries mixed with the primaries, I could make the tertiaries. Yep, I could just go on through my color wheel with these 3 right here. And so I did that as a trial, but it also taught me a lot, that I didn't need to go and have this big old palette with 64 colors. I never liked the box with 64 crayons in it. One, I broke the first one, and it looked like he's out of line, and he fell down in the box, and I never used him anymore. So this is a period of 12 to 15 years, but most of these are the same color. You look, you're going to see blues, you're going to see yellows, you're going to see reds. You're going to see blues, yellows, reds, and you're going to see, then I added, why not just save a little paint and pick up some greens that I love? All right, so here they are. Ready? I'm going to give you my favorite 6 colors. If you came to sit around in that chair right there, and we cleaned off the desk, and you just pulled up a chair at my studio, which I have people do, and we pour a cup of tea, and I ask this question: do you think like an artist? Tell me how. Well, I want to be an artist. That's not what I ask. Do you think like an artist? This is what Noodle Doodle Fiddle Piddle is all about. Do you think like an artist? Do you put your mind to the caption, to the story, to the colors that you like, to your talent, as John Robert Small says? Do you have that? What is it that how do you think like an artist? What makes your work different than somebody else's? You don't need another rooster painter who does a rooster just like this. That's my style. Now, if you do one that's close to this, if you do, but to copy this and say, I got it just like Roo's Rooster, you're going to like, well, where are you in that? And I'm not fussing at you. It's a great way to learn. I'm just saying, where's the flair that you add to it? Where's the piece that you twist off to the side? Where's where you come alive and say, yeah, but my style is this? If I started painting gnomes tomorrow, you people would start sending me notes like crazy and go, you're a goofball. Your gnomes are never going to look like Chris Whitaker's gnomes. And I'm going like, yeah, I don't even know what a gnome is. I don't have a gnome in my yard. I know trolls. They were the ones that stayed. Billy Groach Gruff stayed under the bridge. My point is, I would be in another world. I don't think that way. I don't think their language. Roosters, I'm a poet. I'm a farm bard. I like to embellish. I like to throw up my feathers and crow. And when I walk into the room, I'm a disruptor. Not just because I want to disrupt, but I want to disrupt. I disrupted the young lady that cut my hair yesterday. I disrupted her life. And before it was over, she told me her story. She told me how she was adopted from Texas to live in New York and got back to Charlotte, where she went to school. And she told me about her parents and why they loved her. And it was tender. It was good. But I disrupted her life. I bet she loved it. She thought, gosh, I spend all my day cutting hair trying to get people to talk. And that's what I get these people to do when they come in here. But if I gave them 6 colors, I would say start to find your own voice, and it's going to take a while. Here's how I run paint together. Now, here's what you can learn, okay? All right, a little more music, Andy. First thing I do is pick up some ultramarine blue. I love it. I call it, Carol and I, the bon vivant, we call this French blue. Every hue of blue is in here. It's just beautiful. I love ultramarine blue. It's bold. It says I'm a shutter that belongs in France. It says I'm a flower pot that you'll see on the mountainside with some beautiful flowers in it in France. There's a whole page in my journal where I just painted blue things. I painted the blue Sintra. I painted the car. I painted a blue shutter, a blue window box, blue doors all over the place in Paris. Okay, a red of some sort, and a bold red, a red that says hello, a red that says I see you. That's the rooster head for me. It's Joe's red. It's Red Hot Mama. It's maybe a little bit of cad red, or it's maybe a little bit of not even alizarin crimson. Dark, but got a little more purple in it. I can always add some purple. And gamboge. Why did I choose gamboge? I choose gamboge because it's not what's called Joe's yellow, and it's not Indian yellow, and it's not yellow ochre. It's not green gold, which is kind of yellow. It's not those yellows. It's just flat out bold in your face yellow. So that's why I chose that yellow. I didn't want the light sunshine. I wanted the blowtorch yellow. Okay, so that's what I chose, and I chose a red, yellow, and blue. Oh, that's it. I just chose them all right there. There they are. So there's my primaries. Okay, so those I would put in my palette. Would I put another green blue in there? Yes, I would do Terry Tardy turquoise, or in this case, Andrews turquoise. There's a large one. There's a small one. Okay. Andrews turquoise. I call it Terry Tardy turquoise. Why do I do that? Because I think differently, and I push myself to think differently, and I like the shop talk of just saying, Terry Tardy has been on this show since it started. I met her and her husband in Orlando in January of 2020, before the world shut down with COVID, and she said, I'm concerned because I'm a potter and I love art and I'd love to learn how to paint, and we're sitting at the table, and I think I even painted them a little card and gave it to them, and they started following me, and I found out who they are and what they did in their life, and I liked them. And so one thing led to another, and I just said, Terry Tardy started popping up on this show. So I said, and she said, oh, turquoise is my favorite color. Boom, Terry Tardy turquoise. Okay, so that's in here. There is a green. There is a spring green in here. Boom, right there. There is a sap green in here. Why so many greens? There's a little bit of earth green in here that someone most kindly sent me. There's an olive green in here. Okay, so I went a little overboard one day with the greens. There is the green that was sent called undersea green, which I haven't seen because I don't scuba dive. But those greens right there, and there's a green, yellow green, or a green gold. It's somewhere. Here it is right here. There's a green gold. So I would pick 2 or 3 of these, and between mixing this with the blue and the red, I'll get any green that I want. But there's my greens if you want to look. Sap, spring, olive, undersea, and earthen. Where would you put earthen green? If I paint that little island off of Maine, I'd put that in there. If I wanted to paint a pea pod like this one right here that I painted, we're just 2 peas in a pod. Nope. There are 5 of us. Why do you keep leaving some of the family out? And one piece says to the other. This is some of the earthen green right here. There's a little spring green right there. There's a little green gold coming down the side. Just chose those out of all these little mixes. You see these here? I don't even have a separate pan for all of them. I just let them blend together. So I come up with my own concoction in this mix as I let my brush just sort of dance in the middle here. But if I know it's going toward the roots of the tree, I'll go and grab a little over here. If I know it's going up high where the sun's hitting it a little bit, I'll put in a little spring. If I know it's going to be hidden in the shadows, I'll put in a little olive back in there. And I might even touch a little Payne's gray or black in there to do that. You see how I combine those and just mix out of here onto the paper? That's what you just learn by messing with it. That's an official artistic term. Just keep messing with it. Oh, piddle fiddle. That's messing around, okay? All right, so I got some greens. I do have a little spot right up here of some color that every now and then I like, just because it wakes a rooster up. It's periwinkle. That's right there, a little periwinkle right there. I love this color right here. It's called, and I'm going to stop in 2 minutes, and then to be continued because I got to paint something today. Here it is right here. Let me see if I can find it. Come on, come on. There's an indigo in here. I'll tell you about this paint right here in a second, why I have it in here. A couple of these have been given to me by people who said, you're going to love this color. I think you should try it. And they pass it off to me, and I do. I put it to work. There's another Andrews turquoise. Shucks. Where is my, don't tell me, I might have to go back to Cheap Joe's before Christmas here if I don't have any royal amethyst. Anyway, oh, nope. Somewhere in here there's a tube of royal amethyst, and that's what this purple is. It's called royal amethyst. And by the way, these are all American Journey colors. The trademark is Joe standing in front of an easel painting outside, or plein air, as the French would say. Okay, so that's the logo. Somewhere in here there's a tube of royal amethyst, and that's what oh, there it is right there. There it is, royal amethyst. Okay, it's a 15 milliliter tube. Look, I've been painting with this color for almost a year now, and look how much I have left. I have a whole tube left, and I've just put one pile in there. This goes a long way. Okay, an orange. My orange is either a royal orange or a Halloween orange. I have a brown in here. I have a mummy brown. I have a oxide brown. There's a mummy. There's an oxide. Just find a brown that you like. If you want to make brown, just put a little red and green together and get the color that you want. This is a blue that I don't use. It's a cerulean type blue. It was in this palette when this palette came to me probably 5 years ago, and it's still, that's all I've used. And this color, I have no idea what it is. It was in this palette, and I don't use it. Someday I may just take a screwdriver, pop that one out there and put something in that I love more. Up here in the corner, last minute, up here in the corner is a little shot of, oh, don't forget my French gray. There it is, French gray. Love it, love it, love it. Loved Harbor gray. Loved Getz gray, which is here. 2 grays that I keep on the desk in tiny little portions. A French gray and a Getz gray. Getz is right in there. Getz is a little grayer. Getz is like an old, dirty porch gray. There it is right there. It can be really dark. That one's been diluted over the years, so I just added some. And then the French gray is just this beautiful, but it's hard to get out of this big old tube, but there's a little French gray coming in right there. There's a little more. You can see it right there. Okay? So that's French gray. All right? I keep a lamp black in here, and I keep a Payne's gray in here. And there's one more color I was going to show you. I just had it in my hand. I apologize for, no, I don't. This is the way this should be done. Over here, there's a little bit of buff titanium right there. Oh, man, hadn't had the lid off that one in ages. All right, there's a little bit of buff titanium. And it's a pretty good representation of what it is right there. I like titanium white, and you haven't heard me talk about that, but here's a little titanium white right here. Let me get this one off. It's tight too. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to just go right up here in the corner, and I'm just going to drop in a little titanium white. Every now and then, I just like to wet the brush and give a few beauty spots out of white to let it drift down over the whole painting. That's kind of fun. All right. So that gives you a pretty good rundown of what my palette is. I never did find this rose, and I was going to find it for you. Just tell you what it is. All right, I know you're having a great time watching me dig through all these colors. I'm sorry, but I hope that's been helpful, and you've taken some notes. If you haven't taken notes, don't send me an email and say, hey, what color did you say that was? Because always have a pen with you. Here's a brown, here's burnt umber too, and some of that's one of those browns that you can throw in there. Where is that little tube of rose? And it's right there. And I was going to give you the number on it, tell you about the painting, but I don't see it. This is hand cream. You don't want to paint with verbena hand cream. Okay, all right. Enough of that already. Let's move on. Except for the day I was at Cheap Joe's up in Boone, and I was talking to Megan, who is a dear friend up there. She said, oh, I want to give you my favorite color. I said, Megan, if you bought a color right now, what would you buy? That's always a great question to ask an artist. What would you buy right now? What are your 3 colors? In fact, I would suggest that right now you take 45 seconds and write down your 4 favorite colors, your 3 that you would really go to, and then that extra one that you can say, if I had those 4 colors in a little tin, I could just travel anywhere and paint anything. What would they be? Write that down and then ask for those for Christmas. Ask for 2 new colors. Ask for 4 new colors. But she said, this is my favorite color right here. Junebug. And it is some cool blue. It is just the coolest blue you've ever seen. And I've opened this one and I'm thinking, it is almost too dark to put in this palette. I have it in my main palette, and it's a pretty cool color. And also, I love this one. It's called Blue Stone. So Junebug and Blue Stone are 2 that I haven't used too much yet, but I will probably as I do a little more landscape and get out there with some blues. Okay, so there you go. Wow. Thanks for reminding me someone to do that after I said that I would, and then I almost let it go. And I don't know if I can finish this big old painting that I've got this morning, but I'll post it later if I don't. It's a big painting. I'm going to take this vest off. And Chris Whitaker said that Junebug is a great cool or great tool or great cool. Love it. And so there we go. So June Jones says, my husband will be so happy. He said to find out recommendations for Cheap Joe's paints. Okay, order them today, June. Cheap Joe's will be happy. Tell them Roodoodles said hello. Seriously. Say, hey, Roo said hello, and for me to order these colors. All right. Hey, how about a little Christmas music while I paint something? I woke up thinking of this story. And I'm not, no sketch, I'm just going to use a big old, I'm just going to use this big old pen. It's a number 7. All right, let me hide that. Sorry, it was on all that time. All right, that's a little sleepy. Let's try this. So I woke up and I thought, oh my gosh, I've never painted this. This should be fun. And I don't know if I can, but we'll see what happens here. And I'm doing this one really quickly for the show, but I might do one where I take my time. I don't know, this might turn out better. Should have used a bigger piece of paper, maybe. I did it. Woo. Okay, so there you go. So Linda says they know something is about to fill up the feed trough, so they're all running, see, to be fed. No, that's close. That's close. That's close. Thought of you, Ruse. I got out my nativity barn this weekend. Oh, that's fantastic. Yep. It's a chicken race, Heather Kuhlman says. And I do have my video pulled out, and I want to show you my nativity video maybe next week. After I put up my Christmas tree, the end of this week, maybe next week I'll run that video again and tell you about Christmas at my house. By the way, I just had the folks from United World Mission. The president was back over, and he was doing a video Christmas message to all his missionaries in 50 countries. And so we shut that on my stairwell, and Carol and I just put up the lights on the railing. And so he was talking about the Magi, the kings who were traveling. And so just these people coming from so far and how our nations are scattered out. And anyway, I shot some of them and put them in the video for him. So I haven't heard back from him, but I just did it. I just took the creative license and said, hey, this video needs this. And I put a piece of Christmas music in there. And so it was really fun to produce. I produced that yesterday. And it turned out to be a fun video. Well, for me, I don't know if they'll like it or not, but it is what it is. It's done now. All right, so let me paint this and let me show you where this is going. And I've got a few minutes here, and I'm going to rip through. This might be my sample one, and I might do a whole nother one for you. But I'm going to grab a bamboo brush here, and I'm just going to start throwing some water in this painting. Just let some of it just pick up and go. So we'll see what happens here. Boom. Remember, it's watercolor. I'm painting with water first, and I'm doing this quickly. You saw me paint 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 roosters, okay? I painted 8 flowing roosters there. It looks like a stampede when I walked out a piece of bread to treat the birds. Sleigh ride or wagon ride. Whoa, heading to see the baby Jesus. I love that you guys are trying to figure out where I'm going with this. I woke up about this painting and it made me laugh. And so let's see if I can drag up some dry colors here. I just want to get a little bit of the beaks painted before it all goes south on me here, because I think this is going to be a mess of colors when I'm done with it. Let's see. There's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 7. There's an 8. When he's looking back like, what the heck is going on? And there's a little bit of yellow coming down. So they're what we might call in farm working terms a mixed pair, a matched pair of pulling horses. There they are right there. Let's go and grab some of this blue, and let's let it fade off into the tails of that one. And let's let this one have a flip of blue in there. Ooh, I like that. And this one needs a little blue right here. That's good. I love that. That's going to be good right there. And maybe just a touch of blue on this one. Maybe some undertones. I want to grab a little bit of this royal amethyst that we're talking about here. I'm going to use the 6 colors that I told you we should use. I just used gamboge. I just used, there's a big old drop spot. I'm just going to leave it. I'm just going to splatter this brush down there and just leave that like it is. Heck with it. I'm going to use the ultramarine blue. There it is. I'm going to use Joe's red. It's coming in right here on all the wattles and the combs. They're going to come in with a little bit of, this is Red Hot Mama. I'm sorry. Red Hot Mama. There, that's a foot right there. I just painted red. I got to get that out of the way. Okay, let's go back here and do the comb. See, I've just run over my own. It's one thing to run out of lines. It's another thing to paint something just the wrong color, which I do sometimes anyway. Doesn't matter. Let's see, where's this one's head? Right here. He's tangled up with that foot. There's his little waddle. Here's one over here. Needs some more music, I can tell you right now. And this is what I'd like to do sometimes. I just like to rush and make it work. It's just kind of fun. And this really keeps me loose. I don't paint this fast all the time. Santa is arrived in the barnyard. I think you're getting closer. 8 days left in my retirement room. All right, Diane, go for it. Love it, love it, love it. Keep it happening. All right, need a little turquoise on some of these front runners here, just to get a little turquoise in there. Got to have some color. Maybe a little bit of orange spray on this one right here. Just pick up some of that pumpkin orange and let it rock in there. And I'm thinking some of these tail feathers need to be in the green neighborhood. This is a green tail feather right here. Oh yeah, that's good. Here's where I'll just grab some of that green. Let me show you what I'm talking about. I'll go and get some of this. I'll grab a little bit of the darker green, the earthen green, the sap green, and I'll just let it kind of spring out there. No pun intended on the spring green. Didn't mean to do that. I just did it though. Come in here like that. I think this should be green right here. All right, Bob, that's a corn stalk. All right, let's see. A little black. Gotta have some. Gotta have a little bit of black in there. Let's see. Gotta have. Oh yeah, that's a nice spot right there for some. I like that feather cutting across that one, and I like a little black in here, and I'm going to bring some black out here. And then I don't do this very often, but some roosters have some great red in the back sides of their body, and I'm going to put this one in with a little red right here. Just a touch, though, because there's something else that I need to do, so I'm going to grab some of this blue and tone it down just a little more purple, I think. Yeah, I think that needed to be blue after I painted it red. I'll tell you why in just a second. Black underneath here. Oh yeah, that's good. So this is a mixed bunch of pullers here. How am I doing on time? 15 minutes. I think I can pull this off. This is a painting, and I think I'm going to get a bigger piece of paper and turn this into a big Christmas painting that I haven't thought of doing before. I may paint this thing 22 by 24. I'm liking it already. I know where I'm heading with this. So you're seeing me work out a demo this morning that's kind of fun. I don't do this very often, but I do some finished paintings on the show, but I think this one has a little bit of punch to it. I'm going back in with a little touch of red. I'm picking up some highlights that I want to make sure that I've got enough in there. Look where these are running together here. Don't you love that? Is that not cool? That's really fun. I love that right there. So you see these roosters that are all just a mess of flurry feathers and mixed up. Watch this. I'm going to go get a little bit of this blue right here, and I'm just going to hit my hand and sprinkle it in there, and I'm going to get a little of the gamboge, and I'm going to do the same thing with that. I'm just creating some action, some fly-out action. I'm going to grab a little bit of blue, just shake my brush over on it a little bit. There's some right there coming in. I need a little dark in this right here for a little. Oh, yeah, look at that. See, that changes everything when you come back in. Put some contrast in. There's these feathers that are flying up like this. Look at this one right here. There's a loose one all flying back. I love that. Now, let me do some leg color here. Let me grab a little bit of gamboge. There's that color. And that had some black in there, so I'm going to get rid of that. All right? Here's where you just have to clean out your pan. You got to just be rough sometimes. You got to get in there and go, all right, now I'm going to clean out my brush. Clean brush, always put a clean brush back in your paint, for heaven's sakes. Okay, there's a little bit of gamboge in there. That's actually a lot. Okay, there's some gamboge. And then let's just do one little touch of red, mix it in, and you go, well, you had orange over there. Yeah, but I didn't really want pumpkin orange. I wanted something that had a little more red with it. And I'm going to grab this French gray. And notice I just got it up there with the dirty brush. There it is. Oh, yeah. See that right there? That's a little bit of a swirl. You see that swirling in there? See, it's that little. And I like that as a leg color. I like my roosters to have not just orange. I don't want them to look like we've already cooked their legs. You know, like lobsters turn red when you cook them. I painted a lobster last night at dinner. After my haircut, Carol met me at a little place called the Cajun Yard Dog. Restaurant seats 30 people, and every seat was full. We went in early, got a seat, but it's just crazyville. And known for their shrimp, known for their etouffee, known for their, come on, say it. You can say it. What is it? Jambalaya. Yeah, they're known for just some great food. And so we had a small little dinner. And while I was sitting there, the gentleman who came over to help us was very nice. And I was waiting on Carol to get there. I'd beaten her to the restaurant because I was so close in the neighborhood anyway. And so I started painting something, and he came over and he was kind of interested. He didn't say anything at the time. And then he said, you know, my favorite food is lobster. And I said, hey, been there and done that. And the lady that's coming in, that's maybe her favorite food too. And so I said, well, I'm glad you like them because this one's yours. And I handed it to him. And he said, two of my favorite things, to eat lobster, and I love watercolor painting. And I've tried it some, and I want to get better at it. And you made my day. And I'm going like, come on. And it was just on a little piece of the drawing paper. And I had my, little Altoid box there, and you know what? It was a fun thing to do. And I'm not telling you that because I'm trying to brag. I'm just telling you that because I live by these rules that I'm telling you. When you give people something like that that they don't expect, that's what Christmas is about. You know, kids today they can expect too much, and you give them too much, and then but sometimes when somebody's not expecting something, is when it just blows their mind, and they go, "Oh my gosh, that's fabulous! I can't believe you did that." This is a rooster wreck right here. I love it so much. All right, I'm going to go in with some pin marks, do some hatching here. How am I doing? 10 minutes. Ah! Just scratching, hatching. Get it? It's a rooster joke. And then I'm going to grab a little bit of just my pen and go in here and just create some shadow. Whoops, there's a leg I didn't paint. Let's go in and grab that and just put a little bit of rooster leg in there. Just maybe, I can touch a little. If I want some of those to pop a little more where they're lost in there, I can do that. I'm going to put a little more yellow right here on this beak. There it is right there. It's popping out. I'm going to come in with the pen and actually add in some details of eyes and just a little few things like that. Watch what happens when I do that. I think you'll see it spring forth a little bit. Just a little more, get a little more detail in there where these run together. But I think you see where I'm headed with this. It's supposed to be these roosters that are, and I've got to let it dry just a little bit. And I'm going to come in with some of this earth and green here, and I'm just going to create a little bit of this. They're not in Minnesota. There's not a skift of snow, but if I wanted to skip the snow, I could touch a little blue to that and just some titanium white and just pop it in there and create just a little shadow. I want some shadow on the ground. I want a little more black here, just right here underneath here, this wagon, and get some of the shadow under there, shadow there, shadow there. So that looks like they're off the ground a little bit. I'm going to take my pen and I'm going to blow back some grass like this, just so it looks like they're going through here, but the grass is bent back just from the speed. Create some action. All right, I'm going to put a little detail in here. I think you can see what I'm doing. Crazy to paint this fast, so this will be a fun painting to slow down, but I want it to still look loose and reckless. There's a reason for this, and the reason is coming up in just a minute because this is how I thought of it during the night. Okay, and if I had a hammer, I'd hammer. Oh, there's a layout pencil right there. That's what I was looking for. I had a layout pencil. I'd go right in here and I'd do some of this pencil around, and I'd use my pencil for just some details in these roosters. Look at that right there. Look at this. You're going like, you got to be kidding me. He's putting pencil over the top of watercolor? Yeah, he is. He ain't right. Well, we've known that all along. He thinks like an artist. Sometimes it's a wacko artist. Ooh, look at that. Put a little shadow there. Put a little shadow on that wagon. That's kind of cool. A little white streak across the wagon right here. There's that right there. Maybe take this white paint and come in here with a brush and just give me some little bit of splatter. Man, this is a moving picture. Let's take some, put some blue in the sky up here like this, where some of that splatter is. Just go in here and get some of that. Let it take off. Come on, blue. Roll on. Clouds are created by moisture, how it rises up, and it depends on if they're near the highway and truck air and gets pushed up. You know, sometimes we go in and try to paint these pristine little clouds with edges around them, and I'm going like, that's not at my house. You know, however it is, I was driving for a year. I spent driving up out of Columbus up into Bowling Green State and university to do some projects, and the clouds up there look like somebody had painted them in the sky. And I'm getting like, these are the coolest clouds I've ever seen. They're just remarkable. And so I was into it. Every time I'd go by these solos and these wind farms, I just go, oh my gosh, look at these clouds. And then I realized the people had no control over these. These are God's handiwork every day. It's pretty fun to see. All right, so there we go. So there's, all right. This is very interesting. Teresa says, Interesting. That's that word when your mother-in-law comes over with the new Christmas sweater, and you go, that's interesting. Thank you, Teresa. You made my day. I love it. All right. So now what do we got to do? Now we got to wait for just a second. All right. Now we just wait for a minute. All right. We just wait. Go Falcons, Linda says. How about that? That's Linda, I forgot. You're from Bowling Green. Yeah, you're from up there, Bowling Green State University. I did a big blacksmithing project up there, and I shot video up there. I'd go up about 3 days a month. For about 14 months, I went up and did a big time-lapse video for, there was a new dining hall being built there, and I shot the video for that. And fun project, working with Compass Foods on that project. And then I wound up blacksmithing some lights that are in that dining hall. They're still there today. I hope. I don't know. They may have torn that thing down now. Those dining halls change pretty rapidly. Look at this. I'm going in and putting some pin in there where I put that pencil. I think this rooster right here, as it's dry, needs a little more wattle. There it is right there. Now, I need something I don't have, and let me see if it's on the floor down here. Yeah. Let's see what this does. Okay, let's see if I can put this in there. I think that's going to work. What do you think? And all right, I think you see where I'm going with this, huh? Was it Clement Moore? Was it Clement Moore that, there's a dispute of who wrote the poem. Was it Clement Moore or was it Alexander, or was it Livingston Jr. Who wrote the poem? On Hackles and Guster and Buster and Charlie and Victor and Rusty and Barnstorm and Harley. Now you know where I'm going with this, right? Still, while it's dark, the sun's just a sliver. Bug out, you. Rooskies. We got, oh my gosh, this is gonna work. Eggnog to deliver. Get a little eggnog there in a jar. Just thought of that. That's perfect. Okay, there you go. And I did it. It's 9:59. Hot dog. All right. All right, so on Hackles and Guster and Buster and Charlie and Victor and Rusty and Barnstorm and Harley, and then I wrote this: since it's still dark, the sun's just a sliver. Bug out, you rooskies, we got eggnog to deliver. And I'd have to rephrase that a little bit. I could just put, instead of we got, I'd say there's eggnog to deliver is what I'd probably do. I'd probably get rid of we got in the final one. But I think you get the idea there. Was it Clement Moore that wrote the Night Before Christmas? Some say he did. In fact, his family says he did. He said he did. The other family, it starts with a D. I can't remember their last name. Says that another gentleman named Livingston Jr., and I can't remember his first name, who died 2 years actually before Clement even took credit for it. He said he wrote it, or his family says he wrote it, and they've been fighting that for years and years. So what's the bottom line? Hey, the bottom line is you shouldn't steal artwork. But at the same time, you can do a twist. You can learn to paint. You can learn to tell stories. You can learn to be a poet. Just don't plagiarize others' words. But if you want to take a satire, and some say that that's what Clement Moore did, that was his writing style. Others say, no, it's Livingston's writing style. Anyway, it's a big argument. If you ever want to read about it, you're wasting your time. But you could, just for fun. Didn't know that was up there. What else is up here? My gosh. A green pea. I had that up there today. And I'm trying to, here's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for this. I covered it up with paper towel. So there's a little painting for you this morning. That's an absolute fun painting. I don't know how big this is. It's, how big is that? That's another thing that's not up here is my measuring tape today. Let's see how big this is. 12 by 18. There you go. So that's a 12 by 18 painting. And as a demo, I'll auction it off today on the show if anybody's interested, just for fun. Michael Christmas 2021. Roodoodles.com. There it is. On Hackles and Guster and Buster and Charlie, Victor, Victor, and I just called him Rusty. And Barnstorm. You know, Barnstorm, I don't know if that's a good name, but I thought about, as I was writing this, I just thought about roosters barnstorming, you know, and Harley. I thought Harley is a good country name, but it's also fast as a bike. Still while it's dark, the sun's just a sliver. Bug out, you rooskies. We got eggnog to deliver. Okay, so there she is, and she's got her, a little brush here. She's got her arm on the, whoops, that's blue, isn't it? She's got her little arm wrapped around the corn stalk there, and I could probably clean that up just a little bit. But, you know, it's a fun little painting. I think I'm going to do a very large one of these, maybe even bigger. I don't know, maybe this is good size, and I need to just move them over a little bit. So there it is right there. All right. Yes to eggnog. Starburst. Yeah, listen. Harris Teeter has, we ran a test sample several years ago. My son did it with big companies or some companies, and Harris Teeter has had the best eggnog forever, and they have quit producing it this year. They can't get their supplier to do it, and I am heartbroken because it's rich in vanilla, custard, and I've tried it all. So if you know of a good brand that I can find in Charlotte, North Carolina, send me a note. Post it. I'd like to try something else. Nope, not Southern Comfort, not Pet, not Waggles, not any grocery store brand other than Harris Teeter. It was the best, and they carried it for 20 years, and now they're saying we don't do it. I've even packaged it up in coolers and shipped it to friends across the country. That's how good it is. And now I can't get it. And so we've called their managers, we've called their stores. They're going like, our supplier doesn't do that anymore. There's a new kind that we have. It's aged in oak barrel. It's a whiskey cinnamon. I don't want cinnamon flavor in it. I just want creme brulee in a glass is what I want. Okay, so there you go. There's the painting, as ruckus and rough as it could be. There's a little bit of touch up I would probably do in here. Come back in with a little bit of orange on this foot right there and draw that leg in. Boom, that goes to there. A little bit of orange paint right there. I love that. There's a leg coming down. A little more red right here on this comb. Get that in there perfectly. Just brighten those up just a little bit. This one where it's dry, and I'll come back in and do that. There's one right there. And he needs a waddle right there. See, when you go fast, you come back, and I'll do all the touch-ups on that before I post it here a little bit this morning. Actually, I've got to take off. I got to go shoot a commercial and pretend that I'm making a real living. All right. Blessings to you all. Fun to do today. Would you be creative? Would you just pick up your glass right now, your cup, mug of something, a cup of something, coffee or tea? Take a sip and think about somebody you're going to contact today. Once again, I got a note from Phoebe who said, oh my gosh, once again, your community is unbelievable. I saw a picture, I think by Denise, that she posted and of her fish bowl. And I think several of you may have. That's just the first one I popped up. And so thank you for welcoming her with such great hospitality. Remember, interruptions, hospitality, spontaneity. That's one of our mottos we live by. And you've got time. Be interrupted by people. It's okay, you know? All right, if you're out driving today, let somebody go in front of you. You're going to get there 20 feet later than they do. Take a sip right now. Think about somebody. Send them a note. I've got to grab my wardrobe, a hairbrush, and go think like a marketing guy for a few minutes. Blessings to you. I love having you on the show. On Hackles and Guster and Buster and Charlie and Victor and Rusty and Barnstorm and Harley. Paint another, add Rudolph the Red Nose. It ain't going to happen, Miss Carla. Can't do it, but I appreciate it. That was Clement Moore's deal. Actually, it wasn't. It was Gene Autry who wrote the song, by the way. But thank you, though, for asking me to. Chris, okay, we're out of here. See you Saturday, Lord willing.